Hi, this is Mikelat from Building Aspirations, and I want you to write your book. You have a message inside of you. You have something that is important to share with the world, and I don't want it to be a secret. I want you to share your message with the world. I want you to help people. I want you to inspire people. I want you to motivate people. And I want you to do this in a way that is going to help you, propel you in success in your business. Because when you write a book, you are documenting to the world that you are an expert. You are saying to everybody around you that you have knowledge, that you have wisdom, that you have information that can help people, inspire people. And this is a legacy. Because you know what? There are some things in life that you do and some things in life that you become. You do not do writing a book. You become an author. And when you write your book, you will forever be an author. It was not, oh, I was an author. You are an author, because as soon as your message is shared in the form of a book, it provides a legacy. It will provide value to people forever. You ever hear of, I don't know, Shakespeare? Guess what? His stuff is old, but we still read it. It still inspires us. It still motivates us. It still gives us joy. You might be speaking, you might be training, you might be coaching, and that's great. You have expertise and you are making an impact on your target market. But when you take that expertise and you put it in the form of a book, it is exponentially more powerful. I want you to write your book. Destiny, prosperity will follow you when you do this. It's amazing. And this is on the wish list, and I know there's so many out there of you that have been thinking about this. Oh, I'd love to write a book. And you know what? You've been thinking about it for a long time. Well, let's stop thinking about it and let's make it a reality. And let me walk you through the why, a little bit more of why you need to write your book and how you can do this, and how you can do this in a way that's not overwhelming to you. This is me. I'm Mark Mikelat. You can laugh a lot, you can learn a lot with Mikelat. And a number of years ago, I created a company called Building Aspirations, because that's what I do. I inspire and motivate people to take their aspirations in life and turn them into careers. And if you are not living your aspiration, if you are not in your path, if your life does not give you joy, you need to change it up. You need to do something. You need to take corrective action. Significant, massive action, scary action to change it. Because your aspiration empowers you, it motivates you, it excites you, it makes you jump out of bed in the morning. It makes you put your head down, and it makes you work and think, oh my gosh, did I eat lunch? Because everything else is going to be subordinated, because you are so on the right path. And your book helps you, enables you, empowers you to do this. Writing your book allows you to live your aspiration, because it allows you to share your experience with people. It allows you to share your expertise with people in a way that is powerful. I've written 2 books. Aspirations, Achieving What You Want for Yourself in Your Life, is a personal empowerment book that helps you figure out what you want to do in your life. That's your aspiration. I've created the aspiration message, and you know what? It was working, and there were workshops that were great, and there was coaching that was wonderful, and I was making an impact on people. But you know what? When I documented all that stuff in the form of a book, wow, the success just propelled. And then I wrote another book, 50 Tips for Effective Networking. You know what? You might have more than one idea, and you know what? Why limit the opportunities in the world? Why limit your message to just one book? If you have a lot of power inside of you, let's share that power. Because so many of you have secrets. But you know what? Let's get those secrets out of you. Let's get that wisdom out of you. Let's get that advice out of you and put it in the form of a book. And you know what? I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the process. Here's my aspirations book, Achieving What You Want for Yourself in Your Life. This took 2 years. You know what? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I was figuring out as I went along. But then, you know what? After that, I wrote another book called 50 Tips for Effective Networking right here. And this is it. This is the book. This is it right here. Look how teeny weeny this is. Let me see how this is 62 pages. And you know what? I designed this book to fit in a pocket. I designed this book to work like this. I wanted people, men, to put it in their suit coat pocket. Women carry it in their purse. And I have sold this little book by the caseload. You know what? I teach people how to have a firm handshake and how to have direct eye contact. And you're like, what? Huh? That doesn't make any sense. I remember somebody was flipping through the book once and said, oh, this is ridiculous. This stuff is so easy. This is so simple. How is this a book? Right? Well, the book wasn't for him. The book was for college students. The book was and is for younger people who are starting out in their career. They need to know how to make a powerful impact. They need to understand how to walk into a room and have direct eye contact and be polite and be straightforward and have confidence. And they need to know how to network at networking events and what does it look like and how do you interact and how do you follow up and how do you say thank you and what do you say and what should your goals be. If you've been in business for a while, you know that stuff. But you know what? You focus your book on your target market. There's somebody out there who needs your message. And they're just dying to hear from you. And you know what? Some of you are, I want to sell 1,000 books and I want to sell 10,000 books and I want to be a best-selling author. I mean, that's great. That's wonderful. But I think we're more successful in life when we come up with goals that are not inwardly focused, but are outwardly focused. I want you to live your aspiration. That is internal. What empowers you, what excites you, what motivates you in life, that comes from you. But how it manifests itself and what you do with it in the universe, that's external. Your impact on other people. And when you focus on how you can help people, you will be more successful. If you focus on what's in it for me, it's not going to work. So you focus on your target market. And it's entirely possible that your book is not for everybody. And if you think your book is for everybody, you don't understand. I've been doing marketing, coaching, and consulting for decades. And I cringe when somebody says to me, oh, Mark, my book is for everybody. Okay, it might help everybody, or it might have wisdom and knowledge and advice of global appeal, but not everybody cares. I'm sorry, the world does not revolve around you. I'm not trying to be mean here, but there are people who just don't care. And you know what? There are people who don't care about this networking book, but there are people who do. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. I have sold this little thing by a boxload. Deans of colleges will buy this. Because you know what? It's perfect for freshman orientation. It's perfect for a graduating college student. It helps them find a job. Not only do I make money selling this book, but you know what? I help hundreds, thousands of students while doing it. What a joy in the world. You can write your book, share your message, help people, and make money while doing it. That's the whole deal, folks. That's what I want you to do. That's what I need you to do. That's what I would love for you to do, and that's why I am here today. And it doesn't need to be overwhelming. I wrote this in a chair in my backyard in 90 days. From the idea to the book in my hand, 90 days. And you know what? I didn't write a word. Well, okay, I kind of wrote a word, but you know what? I wrote the book without writing the book. How did I do that? I dictated it to myself. I created audio files, I dictated the verbiage, and had it transcribed by somebody. So there is an example of how I wrote my book without even writing my book. That's what I want you to do. And destiny, man, you know what? It will just follow you. This is me, man. I'm a business consultant. I do professional speaking. I do training. I do college lecturing. And these books have helped me. You know, sometimes I will give a workshop and I will just put the book in front of the stand, in front of the lectern while I am speaking or something. And I might not even be speaking about the book, but I will sell a copy of the book. Why? Because people want to take a copy of me home with them. And you know what? Your book is just a start. It's the message that is of value. The book is the way the message is packaged. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. I mean, you can create an audio CD or a DVD. This is an audio. This is old school CD. CDs are kind of obsolete right now, but you know what? It could be an MP3. It could be a download. It could be a DVD. As long as it's a value. You know what I did? I created a college curriculum. Holy cow! And then I created a corporate training from it as well. Bam! So these are all different products from the book. See, the book is the message. I mean, I want you to write the book, but it's just a box. It's really just a symbolic box. It is the message in that book that is really the power that I want you to share with the world. And I'm going to walk you through some tips on how to do that. And towards the end, stick around to the end, because I'm going to invite you to work with me. I would love to work with you to take your message and make it a reality. Share your story with the world. Because when you do this, you become an expert. You are documenting that you have expertise. You don't just have an idea, you are someone who wrote a book about your idea. And whatever your idea is, as soon as you put it in book form, it's more powerful. Because are you going to listen to a coach on a newscast or an author? Which sounds more impressive? You know the answer to that. It's an author. And you know what? You already speak, you already share information, you already give advice. Once you put it in the form of a book, you have documented proof. You have evidence that you have expertise. You are an expert in your business already. You know that, I know that, but when you put it in the form of a book, the world will know that you are an expert. It starts with your story. You need to share your story. You know, there's this president. You may have heard of him, Abraham Lincoln. You know, he did the Gettysburg Address. And I don't know about you, but I actually had to memorize the Gettysburg Address. I think in 6th grade or something. You know what? He was not the only person to speak at the Battle of Gettysburg. Somebody else spoke before him for 45 minutes. But you know what? He had a concise message. He had a really short message that was more powerful, and he is the person we remember. And if you take all of the presidents, if you take all the books written about all of the presidents, there is more written about Abraham Lincoln than anybody else put together. You stack up all the books about all the other presidents against the stack of books about Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln has more. That's a story. I told you a story about Abraham Lincoln. And you know what? You may have learned something. It may have been inspirational. It may have been motivational. But you know what? It's not my story. I'm telling you somebody else's story. You need to share your story. Because when you share your story, you're authentic. You're real. You connect with the target market in a really profound, emotional way. And you will move people. They will laugh. They will cry. They will have a visceral, spiritual, powerful connection with you when you share your story. And don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the business at this point. Worry about the impact, the value of your story. There is someone in my network, he told me that he was giving a keynote speech in Japan. And then he had to fly back to the United States to give a motivational workshop at a college. And of course, it's crazy. It's just like, holy cow, you fly halfway around the globe, right? Well, he did it. And there was one person in that workshop. And but you know what? He was a professional and he gave it his all. And he gave a motivational speech. And you know what? That person followed up with him later. You know what he said? You know what? I was really depressed and I actually was contemplating suicide before I heard your speech. One person. He shared his story with one person and had a profound impact. Now, I want you to sell tons of books. Yeah, I want you to enjoy wealth and prosperity. But first, you help people. First, you focus on them. How can I help them? How can my expertise help other people? You share your story. This is a picture of my mom and dad. My mom and dad were immigrants, and they were incredibly poor when they got married, when they met each other in war-torn Europe. Mom is wearing a dress that was made from old curtains. Her friends made the dress from old curtains, so she would have a wedding dress. My dad's suit is not even my dad's suit. He had to borrow it from his boss. He did not have a suit to wear to his own wedding. The flowers in the bouquet are not from the florist. They are from the forest. These are wildflowers. That's how poor they were. They got one dishcloth. That was all of their wedding gifts. They got one rag, pretty much. They were super poor. But they loved each other and they got married and they moved to the United States because they saw more opportunity in the United States. They wanted to come to the United States and tap into the dream and become entrepreneurs. They had to, kinda, because they didn't have a choice. My dad was drafted at machine gun point into the Army at the age of 14. He didn't have an opportunity to get an education. He didn't graduate high school. My mom graduated something kind of like a technical high school, maybe a slightly more advanced high school. So, kind of high school education, no high school education. They could not speak English. They had no money. They moved to the United States with no money, no education, no ability to speak English. And they put their heads down. And they worked. They scrimped and staved and borrowed every nickel and dime they could from friends and family. And they bought a bar. And for the first 5 years, they worked 15 hours a day, all day, every day. They never opened late, they never closed early, they never took a vacation day, they never took a sick day, they never hired a relief bartender. They worked. I saw them work incredibly hard. And you know what? They didn't have a choice. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have e-commerce. They didn't have Google. They didn't have education. All they had was sweat equity. All they had was their work ethic. All they had was their willingness to put their heads down and work incredibly hard. This is the foundation for building aspirations, and this is why I do what I do. I want people to achieve their success. They retired early. They retired in their 50s. The overwhelming majority of the population can't even retire at the age of 65. They retired early, starting with nothing. I help people emulate their success without their hard work, with better strategies and better systems. That's a story. That's a real story. I got to experience firsthand what it was. I got to see them work incredibly hard. That's a real story. Share your story and wrap it up in metaphors that are powerful for people so that they can learn what your message is, what you want to teach them. And when people can connect to these stories and they're real and they're not made up, and they come from the heart, and you are emotionally invested in these stories, it will have a profound impact. And sharing this in the form of a book will let this impact live on and on into the future. Share your story. Now, what to do and how do you do it? I want you to write. And some of you are intimidated. I don't know how to write. If you know how to speak, you know how to write. If you have ever shared any type of wisdom with anybody, you can do this. But I'm not a good writer. Neither am I. That's why we have proofreaders and editors. You know what? They will find the mistakes in your book, and there will be a plethora of mistakes. Holy moly, you don't even understand how many mistakes we make, how often we violate the rules of the English language. And I do not know what a dangling participle is. You know, I don't know, direct object, indirect object. The editor will tell you that, the proofreaders will tell you that, and they will point it out. But this takes so long. 90 days from beginning to end. Proof that it works. But what if no one will read my book? Remember, one person. Seriously, if you can have a profound, life-changing impact on one person, wow. And you know it's going to be more than one. Because holy cow, even if a dozen people read your book, what if one is a corporate executive? What if one is a movie producer? What if one wants to invite you on their TV show? That's the power of one, folks. It only takes one idea, one person, one book to make a powerful change. So what you need to do is, first of all, be committed to this idea. Start backwards. And one thing I do with my book coaching clients is I tell them in one of the very, very first sessions that we have to schedule a book launch party. You are going to tell the people in your network, you are going to tell your loved one, you are going to tell your target market that the book is coming. And you are going to invite them to the party 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 1 month from now. And you're going to say, I am excited to invite you to my book launch party. You may have not written one word yet. You might not even know what your idea is yet. But that's what you do. Because when you set that out there, you know what you're doing? You're creating a reality. And you are documenting to the world that you are going to do something, and you are putting your feet to the fire. Because guess what? After you just promised to all these people that you're going to do it, now you got to do it. You see? I'm thinking about writing a book. I am going to write the book, and this is when the book is going to come out. Bam. And you know what's going to happen along the way? People are going to bug you. Is the book ready? How's the book coming? Is the book on schedule? I'm excited to read the book. Do you have a sample chapter of the book? People are going to start asking you about the book. And you know what? If you're lazy, that's going to make that change. And it's that enthusiasm that's going to excite you to create that book. That creates buzz, right? You don't learn about the movie on the day it is launched. They create buzz about the movie while it's in production and well before it's marketed. We're creating buzz about your book, not only to get people excited about reading it, but also to get you excited to actually complete the book. First thing you want to do is think about your vision. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? And you need to be crystal clear about that. You need to be rock solid about that, because that is the foundation for your entire book. What do I want to accomplish? And you know what? There are some people in my network. Let me show you. Here's an example of Gail's book. And these are all clients. And Gail Garcia wrote a book called Never Alone, A True Story of Faith and Forgiveness. What she wanted to do was share her story with the world. I asked her, well, what do you want to do? I want to help people, I want to help parents with wayward children. This is a story about her son, Joshua, who was in prison. Joshua had trouble with alcohol and drugs, and he was in jail. And this is the story of Gail and Joshua, metaphorically, going to prison together. How the love of a mother and a son helped and empowered Joshua to overcome not only his addiction, but also live with God while he was in prison. It's a heartwarming, touching story. And you know what Gail does now? Now she goes to prison ministries. And now she takes this message and she helps other people. She knew what she wanted to do. And back to what I said before, my message is for everybody. No. Gail's message is for parents who have trouble with wayward children. Is it for parents who have alcoholic children? Yes. For drug addicted children? Yes. For lost children? Yes. For you fill in the blank. You see what I'm saying? It fits in a lot of different places. And even if, quote unquote, someone doesn't hit the bullseye, if a parent still sees how they can get value from this book and how they can be helped, this book helps people. And now she does workshops, and I'm still continuing to coach with her about how to sell more products, how to expand her product line to get her message out to more people. Gail Garcia, Never Alone. Here's an example of Naomi Poulsen. Naomi Poulsen is the founder of the Etiquette School, and she wrote an etiquette book. It says for men only. And we worked together a few years ago about how to sell and promote her book and along with her etiquette services. She basically teaches men and people how to be polite and why that is important and why you need to do that at sales dinners and sales presentations and how it can really torpedo your career if you don't know how to have proper etiquette in a job interview. Extremely powerful book. She wanted to teach people how to have better etiquette, and she does that in the form of a book. And then here's another client, Kathleen Reeder. She wrote a book called Capturing the Moment. And she is a professional wildlife photographer. And Kathleen Reeder takes pictures of lions and tigers and bears. And she goes into the wilderness and she captures these phenomenal animals and she shares their majesty in photos. She is an award-winning wildlife photographer. And she wanted to share her love of animals in a book. She wanted to teach people how to take these photos, but also teach them, wow, how to respect animals, how to appreciate animals, how we can love them and how they can love us back, and how we can protect them and their environment and their natural habitat while still enjoying them. And you know what? We've worked together for a multiple number of years. I love working with Kathleen because there are some clients when you coach them, They do what you tell them to do. Oh my God, that's so refreshing when they actually follow your instruction. She saw the value, so she followed the instruction. And now she's expanded to photography workshops and butterfly photography workshops and other specialty workshops. And she has 3 international photo safari tours to Africa. She takes people to Africa to show them how to take pictures of wild animals. And guess what? Her book helps her do this. Her book establishes her as an expert. And you know what? The book retails for $17.95. That safari tour costs thousands of dollars. Because of her book, she's able to sell very expensive photography tours. You see, it's not the book, it's your expertise and message in the book. Oh, I love this one by Deborah Gardner. Oh my gosh, we worked together and she came up with an incredible title for her book. It's entitled, How to Sell to Men Without Wearing a Low-Cut Dress. Deborah Gardner is a specialty expert on negotiation and sales strategies for the hospitality industry. And she targeted this specifically towards sales strategy for women. You see? A very specific niche market. And now, I mean, she was a successful speaker before. And now this book has really propelled her success. So you just need to figure out your message and share it in the form of a book. That's what you do. Now, I want to help coach you do this. Because can you do this? Yeah, of course you can do this. My aspirations book, though, took 2 years. The networking book took 90 days. Why? Why the difference? Because I learned what to do. And I would love to share my education, my experience, my wisdom with you. Because your message is powerful. But it needs to get out there. And there are some things that you don't know. How many words should be in a title? I don't know. What's the difference between a title and a subtitle? I don't know. Do you know what font to have in your book? You don't even know. Holy moly, we did focus groups on fonts. People will have emotional reactions like shouting matches with each other about the font choice. Holy cow. Now, wouldn't that be horrible if you spent all of this effort sharing your powerful message and then choose the wrong font? Right? Holy cow. Right? No. I help you do that. Do you know what an ISBN number is? I help you figure out what that is and how to use it. Do you know how to price your book? How long should your book be? Should it have pictures? Should you have a hardback? Should you have a softback? I don't know. Should you practice full service publishing, hybrid publishing, self-publishing? I say self-publishing, and that's what I'm talking about. But do you understand why? This is what I help you with. You need a coach to help you with these things. You can figure out all this stuff by yourself, but do you want to? You know what? You probably could change your own oil, but you probably don't. You probably go to a service that changes your oil. Because you know what? You're not an expert in that. I remember one time I tried to fix my plumbing. And I broke a pipe, trying to change out a pipe. And for 3 days, I could not use my kitchen. Because there was a broken pipe. I don't know how to fix the broken pipe. You know what? As soon as I connected with a plumber, bam, fixed right away. Why? Because the plumber has expertise in plumbing. You see? I coach people on how to write books. so you can tap into my expertise. And you can figure it out by yourself. You can spend 100 hours trying to figure out what editor to go with, or I could just walk you through the methodology of how to pick an editor, or even just recommend my editor to you and say why you should use them, what your editing process should look like, and then we work together on how to implement that. Because if you do your own plumbing, your kitchen's not going to work. And if you figure it out, you know what? It's going to take you 3 days to fix that broken pipe. Well, you go to someone who has the expertise. You go to the plumber, you go to the book coach to get that problem resolved. Because writing your book is just a small part of writing your book. Because you don't know that. You don't know what's the difference between proofreading and editing. You know what? Do you know the most important page in your book? I bet you don't. And a lot of my clients are like, really? That's the most important page? Yes, that's the first page we write. Wow, I didn't know that. And you know what? It's one of the most this single page is one of the hardest pages to write. It is the hardest page to write in your book. But you know what? It is so critically important. It is imperative to write this page properly. And I have clients who have spent weeks on one page. But when this page is done, it is phenomenally valuable, and it makes writing the rest of the book super easy. I help you explain you what that first page is, what it looks like, and why it's so important. I would love to be your book coach. Now let me explain how we can work together. I would love for you to go to buildingaspirations.com, write-your-book. Building Aspirations is the name of my business. I want you to build your aspiration. I want you to take the message that is inside of you and share it with the world in the form of a book. And to learn more about my book coaching program, you go to buildingaspirations.com, work-with-Mark, or buildingaspirations.com, write-your-book. Write-your-book. My phone number is also on the screen. It's also on the web page. I'll recite the phone number to you right now. It's 562-883-2734. Let me explain what the program is all about. It's designed to be a 6-month, one-on-one program. I work with you. Typically, we're on the phone. Sometimes we can do a video chat, and I walk you through the process. It is designed to be 6 calls or 6 months. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to give you enough latitude. I want to give you enough flexibility that you can get it done, but I want you to get it done. So I'm going to put 6 months. It's reasonable. And you know what? If you need more time, we can just renew. That's okay. It's perfectly acceptable. Sometimes clients need a little bit more time. I know you have kids. I know you have a husband. I know you have a wife. I know you have other responsibilities, and you might not be able to devote an hour or 2 hours a day to writing your book. But you know what? If we let it linger for years, it ain't gonna get done, right? So we put a specific start and a specific end, a 6-month window. So in this 6-month window, we have 6 calls, and I work with you. We work on the methodology. We work on the foundational steps of determining what your unique selling proposition is, what the vision for your book is, and we create that first page. We figure out who the target market is. We figure out your organizational strategy to put it all together. What do the chapters look like? How are they organized? What do they say? What does the manuscript look like? We work on the proofreading strategy. Who's on your proofreading team and why? How do you incorporate all their changes? We work on your editing. We work on your page layout. We work on your cover design. And I give you expert resources along the way. Oh, this person is a good cover artist. This person will cost this much. This person will cost this much. This is how I suggest that you do it. Soft copy, hard copy, Kindle. We go through all of that stuff. And remember, this is one-on-one, 100% personally customized to you. So whatever your topic is, whatever your target market is, we will address all of these questions specifically to you. Sometimes there's an e-course. I have e-courses, but this is not an e-course. This is for you. This is phone time with me. Now, I can accommodate anywhere in the world, so if you want to do international calls, that's perfectly fine. These are just scheduled in advance. And 6 months. In this coaching package, in this mentoring package, you get unlimited email support. What that means is that if you're stuck and you have a quick question, oh, God, I have writer's block, I have trouble with this, what do I do? You send me an email and I help unstuck you. So I don't want there to be obstacles. And I'm not going to say, oh, you have to wait till next month. No, I'm going to enable you to make progress along the way. I want to take those roadblocks out of the way. So, and I want your book to get done. You know what? Because a year from now, 2 years from now, I would love to be holding up a copy of your book in my next video. And if I'm lying, I'm dying, I'm fully transparent on that. I want you to be extraordinarily successful so I can talk about how I helped make you successful. If I'm lying, I'm dying. That's exactly what I want, right? Remember, in the beginning, you got to help people. And you want to create a win-win-win situation. When I'm creating this networking book for the college students and when I'm speaking at a college, I win. The students win. The college wins. The community wins. Win, 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 win. Because of that networking book. I want to create a win-win-win situation. I want you to win in our coaching relationship. I want your book to help people so people can win. And then I want to be able to say, I helped you so I can win again. It's win, 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 win. And the only way that can work is if I provide you excellent, extraordinarily powerful coaching. So that's my goal. That's my intention. That's my aspiration. This 6-month package listed on the website is $1,250. $1,250 as listed on the website. But you know what? This is being recorded for a special program in February of 2016. And if you are part of this special program and you can give me the name of either of the hosts, that's going to be your keyword to knock off $250. We're going to make this 6-month one-on-one package available to you for $1,000. Think about this, folks. If you sell 100 copies of your book and your book sells for $10, guess what? You just created the book for free, right? Wow. 100 is not a lot. So $1,000 investment, that's not that significant. It's $1,000 if you mention to either me or my manager one of the names of the hosts of the February 2016 event. That's your discount code. I want to work with you. And I've been around for a while. You know what? Go online, Google Mark Mikelat, Google Building Aspirations, look at my bio. I've got the 2 books out there. I've been around. I've been helping people for a dozen years. I'm not going anywhere. I want to help you share your message. I want to help you be an author. I want to help you implement and achieve your aspiration. I'm inviting you to work with me as your book coach. Go to buildingaspirations.com, write -your book. Or call 562-883-2734. This is Mark Mikelat from Building Aspirations, and I know that your time is limited. So I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for spending some time to watch this. Mark Mikelat from Building Aspirations. Thanks for listening.